Hello, everyone, and welcome to the newest episode of the Tumult Trials. Tonight we are with a cat. I gotta rep the cat for a second. Sorry. Tonight we are playing the final starter deck, Lyra. So let's get into the deck, kind of explain what it's trying to do, what its weaknesses are, and just overall the game plan, and then we'll get into some games. So Lyra is led by the hero Navanka and Blotch. They are an interesting hero that has some inherent risk. How they work is you can exhaust them as a quick action, and you roll a six-sided die. It doesn't say it, but you roll a six-sided die, and on a 6-up, a target character gains anchored. On a 2 to 5, a target character gains 1 boost, and on a 1, you send a character to reserve. So there is risk. If you roll a 1, it's generally bad. The way you use the ability is basically you never use it to take the risk. The ability is there to enhance your plan when you're already ahead, and losing a character doesn't really matter. The rest of the deck cares about various things. It does have starter deck syndrome, where it's kind of divided into different plans. It has some dice rolling cards, it has some control type cards. A big number of the characters have zeros in their stats, but bigger numbers in the other terrain. This is a deck that is fairly hard to play. You have to be fairly strategic. All the characters with zeros in their stats, you have to really plan for what you're doing with them, because if you put them on the wrong side at the wrong time, which we will do often tonight, you're not going to get the value out of them. Um, this is, for all intents and purposes, a chaos deck. This is RNG deck personified. Uh, so the game should be interesting. I'm expecting it to be a rough time tonight, but we'll only know after we play, so let's get into some games. Welcome back to our Altered TCG gameplay series, the Tumult Trials. In this episode, we are trying to see if the Lyra deck has any chance of keeping up with people's custom decks. So, let's see. Okay, Basira is custom. It's a good deck. So, this might be rough for us. Hey, maybe they're playing our Pauper Basira deck. That's always possible. Okay. 3-0, 3-2, 2-2. Resupply. Okay. I think we need different stats. This feels pretty risky, but I kind of want to give this fleeting. But to close my thoughts on the conversation we were having before the YouTube video starts, for context, YouTube, we're talking about people expecting like monetary value from card games when they should only be expecting enjoyment. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Is just don't do it. Have a healthy mindset. It's like anything that's meant to be entertainment. The value comes from how entertaining it is. Like when you go to a movie, you don't get your money back. Like you spent $30 to watch a movie. That was your choice. Ooh, interesting. No, you gotta discard Asmodeus. Treat it the same way. And if you get money back from the cards, then that's like a really good bonus, but it shouldn't be the expectation. Interesting. So I can... Okay, they need... Okay, so I'm gonna go here. We'll see what they do. Okay. So we're tied right now. I mean, they might have a 1-drop. Definitely. Yeah. We should still move. They'll move 2, unfortunately, but we'll both move, at least. Wow. Okay, probably don't need 2 all-ins. It's a fun card, but the the review portion of this episode is going to be pretty simple, thankfully. Like, I think you can look at the deck and be like, okay, I know what I should take out and put in. Like, it's pretty easy. To kind of preview slash spoil Tuesday's gameplay. Okay, maybe I should just be trying to move. So initially, I asked on the Discord who people thought were the best heroes in each faction, because the idea was, okay, I'll make a pauper deck for each of those because they're the best normal decks. Let's see if their pauper versions are equally as good. Ooh. So I could block them, but we won't move, and they'll move. So they'll move, or I think I actually do block them. Pauper means commons only. So Pauper. So building a deck with only common cards. It's a very popular way to play Magic. There's 100% not enough sets to do it realistically and Altered, but the difference that people aren't considering between Altered and other card games is that every card is a common. So it's actually not that unrealistic. If you played 2 common only decks against each other, it would feel fine because all the cards are common. But playing against real decks, which is not how the pauper format works in Magic, is challenging. And the things that I've noticed. Okay, so this is gonna move anyway, so we're just gonna it doesn't matter if it goes to reserve. Okay, it gets a boost. All right. Is what I have found in general is that rares give you late game power a lot of the time. A lot of rares change the from hand or from reserve abilities to from anywhere abilities, and that's really big. A lot of commons are one or the other. And the other thing is I tried to make pauper Waru, so common only Waru, work for 4 hours, and it could not work. It was so hard. What I have found, and I'll talk about it again Tuesday, but it's on my mind. What I have found are the heroes that did the best playing only commons were ones that came with an extra body. Are you rating target Scald? I was only trying to vote now, and I roll. They were asking why I did that, which is a legit thing to ask. Okay, so right, they need that forest. Okay, we don't really need Esmeralda. Yeah, the heroes that I had the closest success with were the ones that came with bodies like Sigismar, or even Golrang was better because Golrang like boosts things. Basira did okay. So it's like something to consider if you. I know people have asked me before about like building common only decks. If you're playing all common decks, then like it's fine. You can do whatever you want. It will balance out. But if you're gonna go play at your store and you're like, I'm gonna play only commons, then you're definitely like gonna have a little bit more trouble. It's nice that this opponent was like concerned about why I did that. I guess I should have tried to win on this side, but the thought process, so people know why I didn't, is that if I rolled a 1 and the character we had on this side went to reserve, they were guaranteed to move on both sides. And so I'd rather risk removing this because it doesn't matter, or getting lucky and anchoring it and then it staying around, than what we were doing. Okay, so I could. Okay, so this is the unique Bravos Vanguard. When a character you control gains 1 or more boosts, you may have target character other than me lose fleeting. That's pretty good. And it had sabotage. So do we just high roll? They can't do both of these things, but they can like boost this and then this loses fleeting, or do we do this? No, I think we do this. The Axiom deck and the Lyra deck are the decks that are by far the least straightforward to play. Like, I still think the Izmir deck's the worst of the starter decks, because you really have to draw like the good half of the deck, but it's straightforward. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. All right. Okay, so I mean, I think we try again. We just want the boost this time. Okay. Well, anchored's not nothing, but we would have taken a boost preferably. Yeah. It's a little harder for it to lose fleeting over and over again. It can't do it to itself, but it's not impossible. I will say this. I'm one of the people who don't think uniques are inherently broken to the game. There's always a chance to high roll and like get 2 uniques that work again, this is like, we ran into this before. These are two uniques that actually fit with what Basira wants to do. That makes it better. And if you draw both of them in a game, yeah, like your chances of winning goes up, but they go up about the same as if you drawed two of your rares. And like I'm playing a starter deck. I'm playing a rare. Okay, so they need water. Alright, so we just 4, 5. Okay. Interesting. This is where the problem with this deck comes in, because we really want one of the characters that's forest water right now. Because, like, this barely matters over here. Alright, we'll discard this, I guess. Okay, so these are the only cards we have, so we're gonna play them. Okay, so we're drawing a card. Ooh. That would have been cool if we weren't just sabotaged. I don't know if it would have mattered, but I did keep. So I have like a Google Doc that has like deck ideas and like the links to all the deck lists I've made and stuff. At the very bottom, I started keeping track of our win rate. So, like at the end of the year, my friend said I should do it for every set, but like we'll see. So like when previews for the deck sets start, like at the end of the year or when the new set comes out, I'll maybe do a stream where we go over like the statistics and like the win rates and stuff and decide if it's like I'm playing bad, which I am. I've never said I was a good player. Okay, so I have to risk doing this. I'm actually okay. All right. So, we're going to do this over here. I'm actually winning over here right now. And then let's see if we I don't think it's gonna matter. You know, we're giving them a little bit of a challenge, so keeping track has been kind of funny. Oh wow. Okay. I don't think I can do that for another turn, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, they still need water, they still need forest. Yeah, that's it's pretty rough. We don't have the characters right now. Maybe we'll draw. Ooh, okay, wait, that's pretty good actually. Four, 3. They have so many cards in their hand though. Yeah. I think they still got it, but we put up a better fight than I thought we would, to be honest. They might have removal too. Okay. We're gonna play this here. Okay. That's not great for us. So this is like our last move, essentially. I mean, I think we do this. They definitely, like, there's no way they can't move twice. They have 2 cards we don't know about. do we... Okay. Let's think about this. Is this a point where we just risk it because we've got nothing to lose? I don't know what's in their hand, but the Haven Warrior is already a 4/4/4, so it's like they're gonna block us over here anyway, but they won't move 2. Do I think all my content will be fun challenging decks, or do you think you'll also try some meta top tier deck building? I probably will eventually. Like, I don't think I can make enough fun challenging decks to last till the next set comes out, so those kinds of videos might come more towards like the end of the year. Those videos we'd have to play an Exalted too, which I think I've mentioned before. Some of our games are going to have to be on Exalted just because I don't have the like card pool, which is totally fine. Like, I don't have a problem with that at all. But yeah, definitely like eventually, like, we'll be doing streams that probably won't end up being YouTube videos and stuff. But if there's ever like decks people just want me to try and like explain like how they work and what you should be looking for, I think that, I mean, I don't know. Someone did comment on one of my YouTube videos that they enjoyed the commentary. So I think if nothing else, I might not be the best player, but I think I'm good at like talking through the thought process of what I'm thinking about. And I think that could be good for like the more meta decks too. I don't think I'll ever be good at building meta lists, although like I'll definitely try. Okay, let's see what they do. We're challenging them at least. Okay, so they're going to... We were challenging them at least. We are technically still... Okay, we were winning. Why would you put it over there? Couldn't he put it on the other side? Or he's just gonna put it on them now? Okay. That makes sense. Alright, they got it. We are continuing the Lyra Starter Deck challenge battles. First game, you know, better than I expected. And that's all I'll say about it. Let's get going. Ooh, Lyra versus Lyra. Are they playing Festival? You know what's hilarious? When I was testing a bunch of Pauper decks... Sorry, Chopper's trying to open the bathroom door. When I was playing a bunch of Pauper decks over the weekend, I ran into Festival so many times. Okay, I think that's fine. I ran into Muna Festival, Lyra Festival, like 2 times each. I'm glad people are playing it because it's a fun deck. But it was definitely a lot. Already drawing a card, huh? Nice. Wow, really? That's messed up. Why give my thing fleeting immediate? They're okay. They're very obviously playing Festival. Drawing cards to try to find it. To find all the pieces. Fleeting. Like, they're... I don't see a world where they're not playing Festival. I feel like the rare Lyra Festival card's almost too good. It makes it almost too easy to set up. Okay, I'm not gonna discard the Asmodeus. It is kind of expensive, but it might be like one of the... Okay, we have to discard the Aloe Vera. Go here. Every time we can get rid of one of the like counter types, that's good for us. I feel like they're being very aggressive. Do I risk it? If we high roll and get anchored, then like that's really good for us. But if we don't, and if we put it in reserve, that's really bad for us. Whatever. Okay, that's fine. Getting a boost is fine. They definitely have options. Like, they have a lot of cards. Okay, sure. I have played a Fen Crowbar deck off stream. It's pretty fun. Okay. Yeah, I think we do this. Interesting. I was hoping we'd roll a 4. Getting 3 boosts would be pretty nice. Okay, interesting again. Alright, we're definitely giving this fleeting. Okay. So they're gonna take this side anyway. They're gonna take the companion side. I think we risk sending this to reserve or giving it a boost. Okay. That doesn't matter in the end, but if we could have anchored it, that would have been pretty good. So they're gonna move once, but they're gonna lose their unique. I'm okay with that. Hi, Chopper. Okay, so we can play Asmodeus. Or we can try to hold them back still. I think we try to hold them back. 6. So I can play all of these cards. So better give somebody anchored, which is probably what they want to use it for. Okay. We're going to do this. I have no idea if this is like the correct thing to do. Oh, well. A 1/1/1 was not what we wanted. But again, this is the RNG deck. I don't know what they're gonna do. Whoa, it was crazy. Okay. So they need... Yeah. Okay, so I think we just need to try to move, I guess. At least on one side. Yeah, the different like terrains having 0. It's so rough in this deck. I still can't believe they're making a Gundam card game. Okay. We are going to risk it. Okay. So we should have blocked them on one side at least, and we should move. We're not that far behind, but it's definitely an uphill battle. Having another sabotage would be like pretty good. Okay, so they don't care about mountain at all. At least right now. Interesting. What do you do? What are you gonna do? Sabotage me first. Kind of surprised me, actually. Do we just Asmodeus? On, so they'd have 6/6. Yeah, we're just gonna Asmodeus. Oh my god. Yeah. I mean, they could have disruption, but having an 8/8/8 that we can risk. Did they just pass? On a 4, no, okay, on a 6-up gain anchored. Yeah, I don't think that's worth risking. Wow, really? That kind of surprises me. I mean, they're a turn ahead, so, or a move ahead, so I don't think they're worried. Okay, off you go. Can cost 3 or less. That's pretty big. They need mountain or water. 3, 4. Okay. I think we play Hatter on this side. If they remove one of our characters, like, it was over for us anyway. We see what they do when we off you go something. Okay. So do we off you go this? I mean, we kind of have to. Yeah. Maybe they aren't a Lyra Festival deck. Maybe they're just like a value deck, just playing like resupply and playing things that care about reserve. See, this is the situation where it's like, it's probably not worth the risk to exhaust Navanka to like get anchored or boost on here, but like maybe they have something that's a 5 in forest. I mean, this will get 1. I mean, they could do it. Yeah. Yeah. So they'll move. Waru. Okay. This might be hell. Do people still think in the very short time the game's been out that Waru is the top deck? Yeah, this is gonna be rough. This is like, which one of these numbers matters? A 3 resupply we probably want. A I don't know. You could honestly have selected from the vanilla, like the 0 stat cards with no ability at random, and like it wouldn't matter. I also learned this weekend that I'm not a Waru player, so when we finally get to the Waru 1 box brew deck, and maybe I'll think of like a funny Waru build. Yeah, I'm not like a one brain cell player. Like I can play decks that have some amount of like decision making in it, but Waru's like not a deck for me. Every decision I made felt like I was fighting against my own game plan. It was really hard for me. Especially because I was playing the common only version where like you don't have the tools to keep things out on the expedition zones for longer. It was really like, why would I put it to sleep? It's only gonna do this for 1 turn anyway. It was rough. Okay, well, I mean, we have to risk it because okay. Well, that's not. I really wish rolling a 6 gave you anchor and boost. Because sometimes, like, anchoring's cool, but it doesn't matter right now because they're gonna win anyway. Yeah. This one's gonna be rough. Hello, YouTube. Thank you for being here. Thank you for enjoying some rough games. This is a challenge series. If I'm winning, something's probably going wrong for the opponent. I hope you're enjoying the games. Feel free to like and subscribe if you feel like it. No pressure. I hope you're having a good day. Leave some comments for bad deck ideas if you want to. How many times can I say if you want to? In 5 minutes, a lot apparently. Okay, they need mountain and they need everything. This deck needs more 1-drops. This deck needs more. My friend was saying this too, so you know, I think this is like an obvious thing. The Lyra Starter Deck needed more 1-drops with 0 stats. All this, like, the deck basically starts at 2 mana, and like they have 0 stats, and like it's rough when like, I mean, this is the rare version, but it's rough when it's a 2 for a 0/2/2 with like an ability. Like it does something, versus other factions have a 2 for 2/2/2 with like a mediocre ability. Okay. Put something in. I could resupply again. I actually think that's probably the move. maybe it wasn't the move. I actually haven't played against Waru that often, surprisingly, because I do think people consider it the best deck, or it's definitely the most hated deck, for sure. What are you gonna do? Are you going to... We're just gonna stack on this side, whatever. And I have the controversial opinion that Robin Hood is a good card for the game. I have the opinion with card games that, like, sometimes you need to make things difficult, and that's okay. I could, yeah. Could I have? I guess I could have used Ivanka, because, like, we maybe could have lost something and it wouldn't have mattered. I don't really know why they did that. I mean, they moved as well, so I guess it makes sense. Okay, they need mountain and water. We will have 5. No, we're definitely going to use on that, so... Okay. Okay. I think we put the Hatter into mana. I have, like, somewhat of a plan. Oh, it's their turn first. Never mind. I don't have a plan anymore. I thought we were going first. The plan is gone. Oh, now we definitely don't have a plan. Speak of the devil. Okay, so they need... What do they need here? Water? Oh, man. Okay, I still think we have to do this, even though it's the only thing we're gonna do, because them getting more value, getting, like, more characters, we don't know what's in their hand. Like, they can definitely take both sides or tie. Okay. I think we risk it. Oh my god. Okay, look, lesson. Here's the lesson, people. It wasn't worth the risk. We were already stopping them from moving. We shouldn't have done anything. Do what I say, not what I do. That's what people say, right? Yeah, that was bad. That was pretty bad. I even explained that to my friend last night, because this deck was the first deck he tried playing, and I was like, look. Yeah. It was like... We really only cared about 2 through 5, because if we had rolled, we would have moved. And, like, that's what we wanted. But I don't think it was worth the risk. I was telling my friend last night, I was like, when you're playing this deck, you're gonna want to use your hero to roll, like, every time. And I was like, you should only do it if there's no negative to putting something in reserve. Like, if you're already winning and you're just trying to high roll to get anchored, that's when you do it. That's not what happened. Okay. I think we put the Ouroboros Trickster. Yeah, that was rough. It would have been pretty good if we had high rolled. Because they moved too, so it's like... Uh but that's the fun of this deck. Like, I think it's hard for some people to grasp that maybe even more than any other card game I've played, this card game is really designed for like the casual mindset. You don't put dice rolling in your base set of a card game if you want the card game to be played mostly from a competitive perspective, because dice rolling adds variance that competitive card games don't have at the beginning. Like, there are like dice rolling cards in Magic, arguably one of the most competitive card games, but they came out 28 years after the game started. Like, there's enough other cards to where it doesn't matter. So we can off you go. We can. Okay. I think we really want to get rid of this permanently if we can. We're gonna give it fleeting. We're gonna see what they do. We're not winning anywhere. We're not winning there. We're not gonna beat them in Forest. I still. Oh, is it any card? Oh, it was a rare Robin Hood. Yeah. So this doesn't matter. So in this situation where it actually doesn't matter, I'm willing to roll for like the chance we get an anchored and keep it there, which we didn't. So, but they were gonna win on it anyway. Just on Forest alone. The Robin Hood should still go away, which is good. That's like one problem out of the way. Because otherwise it was only going to go back to... Oh, never mind. I lied. They had it. We tried. Yeah. Waru's pretty tough to play against, but I do think it's like... It's like a necessary evil, is what I'll call it. I think decks like this are good for competitive play. If you don't enjoy this kind of, if you don't enjoy playing against this kind of deck, then like go to your store, get a group together that's like not playing for organized play, and like don't play this. I do think it's good for competitive play. Yeah, this is... You know, I didn't think we would, like, obviously we're not gonna win. There was no illusion in my mind that we were gonna win this game from the beginning. I thought we would make it a little harder for them if we could get rid of the Robin Hood. But they just, like, they have everything. I mean, just to send the message, we're gonna get rid of the... Oh, it's only 3 or less. Okay, never mind. We're not getting rid of the Robin Hood. Alright, we'll send the message over here. Sweat, they're gonna play another... yeah, they just played again. I thought they were gonna play another Robin Hood. That would have been quite funny. And then we're gonna go out with Dignity. We're gonna roll. Oh my god. What a way to end the game. What a way to end the game. What a way to end that game. I know it's going to be hard for some people to understand that the point of these videos is to not win the game. The point of the videos is to challenge like myself and deck ideas to see if, you know, they have a 1 out of 50 chance to win, or how close is that deck idea to being viable? How many sets do we need? Like, what cards do we need? Because we can say we need cards forever to Equinox, but if we can actually show that we're trying to think of cool deck ideas, they have more incentive to listen to the community and kind of like push the game in directions that people are trying to get the game to go in. So that's like the idea behind it. I'm not expecting to win games in this series. I'm expecting to show how decks play and how the meta decks and custom decks that people are playing play. But we're going to go into a quick rundown of what I would do with the Lyra deck if I wanted to start the game with the starter deck. And it's almost the exact same advice as the Axiom deck from the last episode. I'm going to sound crazy, but the two decks are so similar in how they play out and how they were seemingly designed that my recommendations are basically the same. So from the gameplay, you should have seen that the Lyra deck is split between cards that care about rolling dice, which is what Navanka wants to do, and cards that have zeros in their stats, which is what another hero in Lyra, Auroch, wants to do. So if you like Navanka and you have gotten a retail box or a Kickstarter box and you're like, I just, don't know exactly what to do, you can honestly take all the dice rolling cards and put them in Navanka, and the deck will function better. If you're more excited about someone like Auroch, you can take all of these zero statted cards out of the starter deck and start building a decent Auroch deck. They just want completely different things, and like we were talking about earlier, the starter deck just has starter deck syndrome. It's just split down the middle. For like very specific cards, this is a deck that's kind of harder to say. There's not specific cards that I think are bad. The cards are only bad because of the hero the starter deck comes with. They're very like bad based on their environment and surroundings. So this is an example of a starter deck that, depending on how you look at it, is either harder to fix and upgrade or easier. I personally think it's easier because it's a lot easier to be like, okay, I want to play Navanka. I want to do dice rolling shenanigans and just like chaos. Like, if I win the dice roll. You can take out the zero stat cards that, one, don't have abilities. They're not helping your game plan really, and you can get dice cards that help your game plan more. Keep in like Tanuki's really good for sabotage, things like that. The starter deck has decent removal, but like all starter decks, disruption, whatever you want to call it, but like all starter decks, it could use a couple more pieces. Either more, well, it has 3 paint prisons, surprisingly. Maybe another off you go if you have a rare, but that's just like the general advice I would give if you want to play this deck. If you want to bring it to your local game stores, which you should because the game's great, and kind of hang while you're building your collection with your opponents that might have a bigger collection than you. Thanks to everyone who joined for this episode of the Tumult Trials. The next episode will be our first non-starter deck, and I'm just going to say this. If you thought the games were going to get easier for me, you could not be more wrong. we're about to enter what could only be called the hellscape of trying very hard to win with very challenging decks. So I hope you continue to join us. Like and subscribe if you feel like it. I'm not your parent. You can do whatever you want. But go play Altered, go enjoy the game, go get some friends into it, and hope you have a good day. Bye bye.